with the Browns spiraling and tickets going for less than a fast food meal. The question isn't whether the team is struggling. It's whether they even know how to recover. Kevin Stefanski is at the center of the storm, accused of waiting too long, speaking too vaguely, and doing too little. And while fans shout louder and louder for Shedeur Sanders, the silence from the front office only grows more frustrating. The longer the delay, the clearer the verdict from the crowd. This isn't just a rough season. It's a full-blown crisis of trust.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Right now, all signs point to one potential turning point. A quarterback decision that could shift the tone, the momentum, and the stakes. Sanders is more than a name. He's a symbol of potential change. The Browns don't need another press conference. They need a bold move. And if that doesn't come soon, the team risks alienating the very community that built its identity. The NFL doesn't usually flinch over a local team's drama. But this made the whole league do a double take. Cleveland Browns tickets selling for $6. Less than a beer inside the stadium. Less than a coffee in downtown Cleveland. And it's not for some preseason throwaway or an end-of-season formality. These are regular season games. Supposed to be the heart of the action. Supposed to mean something. But they don't anymore. Because Browns fans are checked out. What you're seeing isn't just a slump in attendance. It's a mass emotional exodus. This isn't about the win-loss record. It's about trust, and that trust has been shattered. What used to be a loyal, bruised but hopeful fan base is now tuning out. Quietly, deliberately, and completely. The franchise didn't just lose momentum. It lost its connection to the people who built it. And that disconnect? It didn't happen overnight. This has been a slow, painful burn. A steady erosion driven by years of poor performance, unclear leadership, and tone-deaf decisions. The coaching staff, particularly Kevin Stefanski, has been dragging this team to the mud without offering any transparency or change. And now, the fans are the ones making the statement. $6 tickets don't just say the team is bad. They scream, we're done. This isn't about playoff dreams anymore. Fans aren't even asking for miracles. They just want proof that someone in the building still cares. That there's a plan. That someone is willing to make bold decisions before the last ounce of loyalty disappears. But week after week, it's the same story. The Browns stumble through another game. The press asks about quarterback decisions, and Stefanski delivers his greatest hits. We're evaluating. We don't have an update. We're sticking with the plan. What plan? Because to everyone watching, there doesn't seem to be one. And while all this is happening, one name keeps rising to the top of every conversation. Shedeur Sanders. No, he's not on the roster. No, there's no deal in place. But fans keep bringing up Sanders for a reason. Because he's not just a quarterback prospect. He's a symbol of hope, of youth, of potential, of change. He represents everything this current version of the Browns. There's a hunger for something fresh, something decisive, something that sends a message. We hear you and we're going to act. That's what the fan base is begging for. And right now, they're being met with silence. Stefanski's refusal to even acknowledge the growing public pressure has only made things worse. You can't ignore fire and expect it to burn itself out. At some point, leadership has to step in and take ownership. But all fans are getting is non-answers and more of the same quarterback shuffle with no clear direction. It's not just uninspiring, it's insulting. Because Browns fans are stuck with this team through a level of chaos that would have destroyed any other fan base. They've endured blown drafts, revolving door coaches, locker room scandals, and heartbreaking losses. But through all of it, they still believed. Because belief at its core is about possibility. The idea that next year could be different. That something new could be on the horizon. Right now, that belief is dead. And it's not just Stefanski's fault. This is a top-down failure. An organizational unwillingness to adapt. A refusal to communicate. A consistent pattern of ignoring fan sentiment until the stands are empty and the tickets are practically being given away. And when fans suggest something, anything, that resembles a path forward, like exploring a young quarterback with proven leadership potential and national buzz, The Browns act like it's background noise. They've created a vacuum where nobody feels heard, and the team keeps doubling down on indecision. The quarterback position, which should be the beating heart of the franchise, has turned into a black hole. Fans don't even know who's starting from week to week. And when they ask why, they get told there's no update. That phrase has become a punchline, a grim joke, because when a team is spiraling and its leaders are shrugging through press conferences like nothing is happening, that's when fans stop booing and start. The optics are brutal. It's not just about ticket sales. It's the visual of empty sections on game day. It's the silence during drives. It's the hollow atmosphere in a stadium that used to be known for its volume, its passion, its pain. Now it's just sad. The Browns are hemorrhaging not just points on the field, but respect in the league. Other franchises are watching this unfold, wondering how leadership could let it get this bad. And fans from other cities? They're not mocking the Browns anymore. They're just pitying them. That's worse. All of this could still be turned around. Maybe not in the standings, but in perception, in momentum, in meaning. But it's going to take something the Browns haven't shown in a long time. Guts. Start with a decision. A real one. Whether it's quarterback related or front office related. Do something that shows fans you're listening. That you understand how far things have fallen, and you're not okay with it. Something like drafting or aggressively pursuing Shedeur Sanders might not fix everything, but it would send a signal that you're not afraid to change, because staying the course, that's what got you here. The Browns can't fix the damage overnight, but they can stop making it worse. Every day they sit on their hands is another day fans drift further away. Another day the stadium gets a little quieter. Another chance missed to bring people back into the fold. This isn't just a losing streak. It's an identity crisis. And the worst part is that the fans told them. They begged for clarity, for communication, for energy, and instead, they got cold shoulders and $6 tickets. At this point, the Browns don't need perfection. They need direction. They need to stop treating fan frustration like noise and start treating it like the red flag it is. Because once a fan base gets this disillusion, they don't come back easy. It's not just about wins. It's about respect. And right now, Browns leadership is showing very little of it. So where does that leave us? With a team in free fall, a coach who won't commit, and a quarterback carousel that spins without purpose. With a fan base looking at a name like Shedeur Sanders and seeing something, anything, to believe in. And with an organization that still has a sliver of time left to change the narrative, if they're brave enough to use it. But that window is closing. Fast. This is the moment to decide what kind of franchise the Browns want to be. Do they want to keep being the team people pay $6 to avoid? Or do they want to take control of the story and give fans a reason to care again? The answer is out there. It just depends on whether anyone in the building is listening. If you're as frustrated as every other Browns fan watching this mess unfold, tell us what you do. What should change first? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you're done with the excuses. Share this with someone who used to believe in the Browns and wants to again. And subscribe for more breakdowns of the biggest stories in sports drama. Because what's happening in Cleveland isn't just embarrassing. It's a warning. And if leadership won't fix it, the fans already have their answer. At this point, the Cleveland Browns are no longer just a struggling football team. They're a cautionary tale in slow motion, a textbook example of what happens when leadership underestimates the power of their own fan base and overestimates the strength of the brand they built. The truth? That brand is cracking, and no amount of canned coach speak or recycled excuses is going to patch it. You can feel it. This isn't tension. It's resignation. And let's not get it twisted. The fan base didn't bail at the first sign of trouble. They hung in there through years of quarterback roulette, roster resets, and gut punch seasons. They bought the jerseys, endured the false starts, and held out hope longer than any rational group of people should. But this year, this time, something broke. And the break wasn't about the losing. It wasn't even about the record. It was about the silence, about the absence of vision, about leadership that treats every press conference like a hostage situation and every obvious question like a threat. The refusal to engage with a fan base isn't just a communication issue. It's a strategy issue. Because when the stands start emptying, when the local bars stop playing the game audio, when ticket prices hit literal single digits, it means something much worse than just low demand. It means indifference. And indifference is the one thing no franchise. But here's the part that stings the most. The fans told them, over and over, in every way possible, through posts, tweets, interviews, radio call-ins, and now through their wallets. They're not coming unless something changes. And yet, the Browns are treating the hemorrhaging like a paper cut. How else do you explain Kevin Stefanski's robotic delivery week after week? How else do you explain the front office's refusal to directly address the quarterback situation with any sense of urgency or clarity? And then, hovering above all of this, is the name Shedeur Sanders. The fact that Shedeur keeps getting mentioned, despite not even being on a roster, says everything you need to know. He's become the lightning rod, the avatar of fan frustration, not because he's guaranteed to save the team, but because he symbolizes everything the Browns are missing right now. Fire, energy, youth, charisma, upside, hope. You think it's about stats? It's not. It's about narrative. Browns fans are tired of the broken one they're stuck in, and Sanders represents a new chapter, one that doesn't start with, "We're still evaluating," one that doesn't end with empty seats, and another season of what-ifs. Even the suggestion of Shedeur has been met with eye rolls and deflection from the Browns' leadership. Like the idea of trying something new is more offensive than continuing to do nothing. It's that kind of arrogance that alienates fans faster than losing ever could. Because say what you want about football being a business, but businesses survive by responding to demand. And right now the demand is change. Urgent, visible, unapologetic change. The refusal to act isn't strategic. It's reckless. And we've reached the part of the story where the silence is the... By refusing to engage, by brushing off concerns, by refusing to make even symbolic moves, the Browns are essentially saying, we don't need to change. You'll keep watching anyway. And for the first time in a long time, the fans are replying, no, we won't. That's how you get $6 tickets. That's how you end up with one of the most passionate, historically loyal fan bases in the league sitting this one out. Because you didn't just lose games, you lost a thread. You ignored the culture. You broke the unspoken agreement between franchise and fan. If we keep showing up, you'll keep trying. But it doesn't look like the Browns are trying. It looks like they're coasting, trying to survive the season, maybe ride out the press. Maybe hope fans forget how bad it got. They won't. You can't just wait out this kind of apathy. You can't ignore the signs and hope the prices bounce back. Once the culture slips, once the story turns from next year could be our year to I'm not even watching anymore, you got a crisis on your hands. And it's self-inflicted. It doesn't have to be Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't even have to be a quarterback decision. But it has to be something. Something big. Something clear. Something that makes fans sit up and say, okay, they get it. But so far, there's no sign that they do. The head coach keeps dodging. The front office keeps hiding. The fans keep waiting. And the price of that inaction isn't just a drop in ticket sales. It's a drop in relevance. Because the worst thing that can happen to an NFL team isn't becoming a punchline. It's becoming background. And that's exactly where the Browns are headed. When your name is only in the headlines because your tickets are cheaper than a high school game, it's over. When the only buzz around your team is generated by fans fantasizing about a college QB who hasn't even declared yet, it's done. The story's been written. And unless someone steps up to rewrite it, it's going to get uglier before it gets better. But it can get better. That's what makes this so maddening. The Browns are sitting on a pivot point and refusing to turn. All they need is one big move. Not to fix everything, but to break the cycle, own the dysfunction, speak to the fans, shake up the roster, show some guts, show that you're in this, not just floating through it. Because if they don't, the Browns might still play games, but nobody will be watching. Not in person, not at home, not in spirit. And once the fans are gone, it doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard. Right now, Cleveland has one more shot to stop the bleeding. One more shot to bring the fans back. One more shot to prove they're still capable of being the team the city deserves. It starts with leadership, with honesty, with fire. and with the willingness to stop hiding. And let's not gloss over what $6 tickets really represent. They're not just a marketing embarrassment. They're a blinking neon sign that says, this team isn't worth your time. They're the physical, financial proof of a fan base that's stopped caring. The irony is almost poetic. After years of clinging to next year, the fans finally let go, not with outrage, not with protests, but with apathy, a quieter, more devastating verdict. Because anger means you still believe there's something left to save. Apathy means you've stopped believing it matters at all. And now that stadium, the same one that once roared with raw, battered loyalty, is emptying out. Whole sections look like practice games. Local businesses are reporting lower foot traffic on Sundays. Even resale sites can't move the tickets unless they're basically giving them away. That's not just about on-field performance. That's culture collapse. You don't lose a fan base like Cleveland's overnight. It takes years of ignoring them, years of shutting them out, years of treating them like background noise while the same mistakes are made on repeat. And this quarterback carousel is the center of that chaos. How many times can a franchise spin the wheel before fans stop asking who's starting this week and start asking why it even matters? Because that's where it's headed. Every week is just more of the same. Uncertainty, confusion, and a coach who acts like the questions are the problem instead of performance. Kevin Stefanski has mastered the art of saying nothing. And at one point, maybe that kind of composure looked like professionalism. Now, it just feels like avoidance. The press conferences are paint by numbers. We'll review the film. We believe in our guys. No update. Wash, rinse, repeat. But the fans aren't dumb. They see what's happening. They see the indecision, the lack of creativity, the refusal to adapt. And above all, they see the fear. Fear making a big move, fear being wrong, fear change. And then they look around the league. They see bold moves. They see young quarterbacks being trusted. They see teams that pivot when things don't work. That's what makes the Browns feel so stagnant. Not that they're struggling, but that they're pretending they're not. And in the middle of all that fog, one name keeps coming up. Shedeur. Yes, he's not in the league yet. Yes, there's no trade, no draft pick, no confirmed interest. But his name keeps echoing through Cleveland because of what he represents. Shedeur isn't just a quarterback. He's a clean slate, a bold direction, a sign that maybe, just maybe, the Browns are willing to stop clinging to broken systems and try something different. But that's what makes his current silence so damning. The Browns don't even entertain the idea, don't even engage with the possibility. They act like any mention of Sanders is beneath them, like the fans don't understand complexities. But the fans do understand. They understand better than anyone that this team is drifting, that the engine is off, and leadership is too afraid to grab the wheel. So they've started speaking the only language left, their wallets. $6 tickets aren't just cheap, they're symbolic. They say, I don't trust this team anymore. They say, you're not listening, so why should I pay to listen to you? They say, we begged for change, and all we got was recycled excuses. And still no pivot, no passion, just more deflection. If the Browns think they can coast on legacy, they're in for a rude awakening. Legacy is earned. It's protected. It's nurtured. You don't just inherit it, you live up to it. But right now, the only thing the Browns are living up to is the worst version of their own history. There's still time to change that. Still time to take a risk, shake the tree, act like they care. Whether that's drafting Shedeur Sanders, or at least signaling that boldness is back on the table. Whether that's finally addressing the quarterback situation with honesty. Whether that's holding the coach accountable and opening the front office to real scrutiny. Because the fans have done their part. For decades, they've packed that stadium through winless seasons. They've worn the colors with pride, even when national media treated them like a joke. They believed, even when it made no sense. But belief needs fuel. And the Browns have been running on empty for a long time. Now the tank's dry, the lights are flickering, and the passengers are getting out. It didn't have to be like this. With a little communication, a little courage, and a willingness to make one visible change, this entire story could start to shift. Fans would re-engage. Energy would start to build. The narrative will become, they finally woke up instead of they never cared. But the silence is loud, and it's been loud for too long. Every week that goes by without a move is another week of damage. Not to the standings, but to the relationship. And when that relationship breaks, it doesn't come back with one win. It takes years, generations. So now the Browns have a choice. They can keep riding this wave of passivity, watching the ticket prices fall and the seats empty, or they can draw a line, make a move, reconnect with the people who built the brand before it collapses completely. It might be Sanders. It might be someone else. It might be something even bigger. But it has to be something. Because doing nothing isn't neutral, it's a decision. And it's a decision fans are responding to, loud and if this team doesn't act soon, the damage won't just be seasonal. It'll be cultural. And once that's lost, no draft pick, no trade, no PR campaign will bring it back. If you're watching this and nodding your head because you've lived through every step of this unraveling, you're not alone. If you stop buying tickets, stop watching post-game interviews, or just stop caring, this is exactly why. Let us know what you think needs to happen next. Is Shedeur Sanders the answer? Is it time for a total reset? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you're tired of feeling ignored. Share it with someone who used to be the loudest Browns fan in the room. And hit subscribe for more breakdowns of the biggest collapses, controversies, and comebacks in sports. Because right now, the Browns aren't just in a slump. They're in a slow-motion implosion. And unless someone wakes up fast, there might not be anything left to save.